Hello, Father Michael. How are you?
So I'm doing well. Thanks for doing this discussion today. I think it's a good opportunity for everyone to get to know a little bit more about the good work you're doing in Kenya. So to begin with, Father Methodius, can you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about your background and where you're from and who you are.
Yes, so I was born in Kenya. I was born and named John Mwangi Karaoke, and then I got ordained and named Methodius. So I was born in 1981. I went to school, high school, and then went to Macarius 3 Seminary in Nairobi. I went to Masai Mara University in Kenya still. And then when I was finishing the seminary, I married a lady, Evelyn Karaoke. Now we have 4 children, 3 boys and 1 girl. I'm the founder of St. Barnabas Orphanage and School in Kenya, and also I'm the head of Church Department of Youth Networking in the diocese. As well, I'm a small-scale farmer, and I do some little bit of business in real estate, like brokerage.
Real estate, okay.
Yeah.
Um, you came and you presented about the orphanage at our parish here in Youngstown this past weekend, and so I know a bit about it. But tell us how you. I assume you were not Orthodox
Yeah.
born,
Yeah, sure.
and so tell us first how you found the church or how you became Orthodox, and then two, tell us a little bit about how you came to be in charge of or the founder of of an orphanage in
Yeah,
Kenya. Yeah.
yeah, sure. So I joined the Orthodox faith when I was 12, around 12, 13. And it just happened that initially I was in a Protestant church. And so we used to have like videos every now and then. We would go spend the whole night there and then get back home very early in the morning, like 4 before 5, then prepare ourselves and go back to the church for Sunday service. But it happened this once weekend I was not very well, and when I went back to prepare at home, I felt I could not travel back because it was a distance. I couldn't travel back to that church that day. And then at around 9:30 to 10, I had these people singing from a nearby school that I was a student in, and I was like, let me go see who they are and at least have a church service today because I couldn't go travel where my church was. And I met the priest there. After the service, he gave me a small book to read. It was about a saint, and I went, read the book, and I was a very good reader. I used to read small novels. I was still young, so I went home and read that book. And the following Sunday, I couldn't go to my church, so because I had someone's book and I had to return it. I didn't know where to find the priest apart from where I found him at school. So the second Sunday, I went there to take back the book that I was given, and so I had to participate in the service there. I sat there, and then at the end of the service, he gave me another. He took the one I returned and gave me another one, the Orthodox church family. So I took it. I went home and read. I liked what was there. I found it very informative, and I read that one. I read through it the whole week. And on Sunday, I was ready to give it back. I went back there to give it back again, and he gave me another one. So he continued doing that, and eventually I learned that I was already a catechumen. And when the next baptism was performed in less than 3 months, I passed the exam there, and I was baptized with the others who had done their catechism for 6 months, and I became an Orthodox. And the following Sunday, he did some prayers for me, and I was given investment to serve in the altar. So
Oh,
I became an altar server. And
okay.
that is it. I joined the Orthodox Church. Let alone after high school, I went to the seminary. Maybe I should give the how we planned to make this orphanage at
Sure.
this point. So after the seminary, I wasn't ordained, which is usually the case in Kenya when a seminarian finishes their theological course and they are married ecclesiastically, they get ordained and sent to a parish. But then myself, I wasn't ordained, and the bishop told me until we find a parish that is not having a priest, then that we can ordain. But for now, we don't have. So I kind of felt I'm not going to be ordained. And so I went settled like 100 kilometers away from my home area. And there we settled with my wife and started doing our small work and business and finding everything that we could do. So one of these, my wife conceived and we were expecting a baby. We didn't know whether it is a boy or a girl, but we were expecting a baby. So, and we were living in this small room, like 12 feet by 12 feet, where it was the bedroom, sitting room, kitchen, everything. That was our house. So we would sit next to the window as we take our meals, and my wife would face outside and I would face inside, because usually I was outside working, so she is the one who wanted to see outside when we are like seated. So we had that set up. And one day I observed she was not, she was feeling unwell as she ate and wanted like to throw. And I asked her, what is the problem? And then she pointed outside. So I turned and checked through the window and I saw these three boys who were eating from the garbage collection pit. And that's what was making my wife feel like throwing up when eating. So I thought and gathered that if I brought these boys in and told her to wash her hands, clean their hands, give them some food, maybe it would make her feel better and be able to finish her food. So I invited the boys. They came. They were very happy. They washed their hands, and they were given some food to eat. And they sat on the floor there to eat. When they started eating, my wife gained again the appetite and she was able to eat. So the act of washing their hands and giving them food made her feel like they are now clean. So she was able to eat. And the following day the boys came. The other day they came. So they started coming for lunch every other day. And so so that's how we met them. And then I felt like my wife was getting too close to these boys. She would leave them in the house when they come, and I felt insecure because they were street children. They were living in the streets, and you never know what they know and what they don't know. So they might pick something in the house, and so I felt it was good to not to allow them to be in my house. I tend to confess that I was like chasing them away, but I couldn't tell them don't come.
Mhm.
So we spoke with my wife, and we decided to get some very the cheapest place we could afford that time to rent and have someone take care of the boys and give them at least food during the day and some education, because most of these street children don't go to school. So at least they would get food and learn how to read and write and do like arithmetics. So we got a high school dropout, someone who had finished high school, a girl, and we employed her there. But really, literally not employment, but just giving her like $1 per day,
Mhm.
because she was seated at the home, so she wouldn't refuse that. Like she was volunteering, she understood what we were doing, so we went there. We rented the house, the rooms there. We renovated it. We created a better environment out of it, and then we placed the boys there. Some cooking utensils, like just like a house. And then they would come in the morning, eat and get some tutoring, then go away in the evening. Of course, I knew they were sleeping in the streets, but I had no option, like no way to have them sleep somewhere. Eventually, the community around learned what we were doing, and so everyone who knew like a street child would bring them to us, and so we accepted more orphans. Some people started helping me with feeding them. Some more volunteers came, and it became like a place, a center where the street children could learn things. The community continued. The police would actually call me and asking me, "We have this boy who is having, we have this girl who is having this," and then they would ask me to go pick the boy or girl and be taking care of them. Eventually, I learned that almost a majority of them were not having a place to sleep. So I bought mattresses and put in one of the rooms there. so that they could spend there, especially the boys. I was scared to house the girls because the girls will have all these security issues, and most of the girls, of course, had some place they were sleeping, even though not very nice place, but very poor environments with relatives, and so I housed the boys who are literally sleeping on the streets. So I housed them, and so we started. After some time, we moved to another better place when the population was bigger, and at some point we moved where we are. And now, how I became a priest when we started this mission, we did not plan anything. So we did not like plan who will be the priest. No one was nearby who was a priest. No one who would afford to be coming there to serve as a priest. So I basically started celebrating Martins every Sunday with the children there. And then after some time in 2010, on July, the bishop visited. He heard from some people about what I was doing, and he called me and he asked if he could come and see what I was doing. So when he came, he found all these people, the children there, the community came when they heard the bishop was coming. So we had like 400 people there to receive the bishop, and this is a community, this is a huge community. So in 3 weeks time, he made me a deacon and told me, you are going to serve this place. And the same year I was ordained as a priest, and so that's my parish for now.
So you were ordained to serve to ordain the orphanage that came out of your efforts to help the three boys, right? You called them, what did you on Sunday? You called them your three angels?
Yes, I call them the angels because I never planned. It was a coincidence. I never planned like to start. When I look at how because I have the picture, I was doing photography work in a nearby studio. When I look at the picture of the boys when they came, when I saw them, I could have simply told them, can you get away from that garbage place and go away, and that would have been it, and the orphanage would never be there, and everything that has happened through them would never be there. So I call them the angels because they were nowhere close to starting what they started, but it did happen through them. So I am confident these boys, they were angels sent by God to us, because there were many other children there who would eat from from garbage, and nothing ever happened that made something like this huge to happen for other children to benefit. So these boys, I truly believe they were sent to us by God as angels to help us see what we could not have seen. I never thought I would start an orphanage in my whole life. I never thought I would be serving children anywhere. I never actually thought I would have a mission. The only expectation I was having was I would get ordained and deployed to a parish to minister to a parish. I never thought of starting a mission myself.
So, Father, tell us about the efforts at the mission, the orphanage, the building it up. You've probably, as you said, you started with meager, just renting out a place and with some mattresses, and now you've built it up to what? How tell us a little bit about what the mission looks like today.
So through after some times, I posted things on Facebook, and where wishes saw it, and some people from here in America saw it on Facebook, and they contacted us. We made friends. Some have come to the mission to visit, and at some point we got donors who donated money, and we acquired now our own 4 acres of land, and we have built there. And if you look at the website, you will see the building, the structure we have put up. It's a good one. It's a modern one. In Kenyan standard, it's a good one. It's not something bad. And we are housing in that building. We have the classrooms. We have the dormitories for boys and dormitory for girls. We have one part of the building is a huge library that is coming up. We have very many books. So by the grace of God, we have been able to acquire land and build. We also have water. Like we drilled a well 260 meters deep. It can produce 10,000 liters of water per hour, and it is already functional. That's the water we are using. We are trying to finish up the building, but also I have a very huge challenge as a priest because we don't have a chapel. We don't have a church, like a good place of worship. And now that we have built the complex there, the school complex. We also need something similar, not the exact replica, but something that is well related to it as a church. So we are trying to fundraise 45,000 US dollars. This estimate was done before all these things happened in Europe, so I'm hoping it will be able to complete the structure, the chapel there. We have already released like 17,000 US dollars, so we are hoping to raise $20,000 during this visit. And when I get back there, I concentrate on building the chapel. The premises where we are building the chapel is a 5 minutes walk from the current mission center. From the mission center, the chapel is five minutes walk. So it's near us. We are going to build it there. Have a good place where the children and the community around can worship.
And this is I've seen photos of the schismatics, and I'll post them here on our meeting. But that this is after it's going to be in the namesake of Saint Nectarius. Is that
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
We after prayer and asking around, we settled on naming the church as the Chapel of Saint Nectarius of Virginia,
Mhm.
and we are hoping through his prayers we are going to be able to build it and pray for the people and for all the donors who help us with all this work. We pray for because we don't have a way to pay them back. There's no way we are ever going to be able to pay them back. So the only way we can say thank you is praying for them at every divine liturgy that we celebrate in our mission. So even in this chapel, all the donors that will help us build it, all those that have helped us build the school complex, we are going to be praying for them and forever. Even when I'm not there, when I pass away, the list will always be there for any other priest who comes to be able to pray for them by name.
Father, tell us how many children do you have over at the orphanage? I know from what you had spoken to, it's some of them are there part time for education, some come, but either way, you have a lot of mouths that you try to feed and take care of. What are the numbers there with the children?
So right now we have 275 children who receive services from our orphanage and school, but because we don't have a constant income, I'm not able to house them all in the mission. So among the 275, I have housed 60, both boys and girls, a total of 60 that I'm able to keep there, feed them full time. Because this one, the others I have given to families. They are not well-up families, but they have accepted. Seeing what we are doing, they have accepted to take. A family can take one, can take two, and then we had a donor who helped us, and we bought this bus that helps us pick them every morning and drop them every evening. This also reduces the risk of illnesses, because when you put them together, like 275 together, the risk of getting ill also get higher. And also we don't have much that would enable us to feed them like throughout. And some of them, whenever they go to sleep to spend the night, they don't get a decent meal, so they come out in the morning very hungry, and we have to give them a good breakfast. But at least when they are hungry and away, well, we are kind of able to ignore that, even if that's not what we want to do. If we had the income, we would like if we had the donations, or if we had the food production like we are planning to do, we would house all of them and ensure that they eat properly and throughout. And especially because our children are at the age where children want to eat like 5 times a day. So
Right. Yes.
yeah,
We're both fathers. We know how that goes.
yeah.
So it's not financially it's a lot to take in. So I mean, obviously you guys need help with the feeding and just the clothing and the educating of these children. And so is there ways that I know I'll share a link here at the end, but what is the best ways that if somebody wanted to help with the you know
Okay.
this
Okay.
efforts?
Yeah, sure. For these efforts, we have a website which I know you may be able to provide the link to it, And through this website, we have created a page whereby a willing donor will sponsor a child, like for $35 or $50 or $100 for one child. If you donate $35, that will take care of education. If you support with $50, it is education and food. If you support with $100, it is education, food, shelter, and basic health care. So through this effort, if people are willing to help, we are able to get an amount that is able to help us take care of the children. So there is that opportunity where people can sponsor a child or make a one-time donation. There is another page which is named. There's a page named sponsor a child and another one named get involved. In the get involved, you can decide to make a lump sum amount for any like for the mission. You can make it for the chapel. You can make it for the clinic. All these projects you can help whenever you want, or you could even make. We are going to create another button where you can help us build the greenhouses, the farming part of the mission. Because with the rising food prices, the only way to mitigate that is producing our own food. Because we have the water and we have a piece of land that we can farm. If we do greenhouse, we will be able to like produce 3 crops every year for 4 months, and we have harvest. That would mitigate the budget, the huge budget that we have.
So, we hear about the increase of energy and food prices throughout the world. Is that it's been pretty bad there in Kenya as well with that regard?
It is very bad. There's a time around July. There is a time we had ordered for a consignment of beans and maize, and the supplier, we sent the money, but after a few days the supplier called back and said, "Can I return your money, or will you be comfortable if I bring half for the full price?" Like the prices doubled.
Wow.
After we said yes, and then before he delivered the food, he called again and he said, "This time I'm not sure that you will accept, but we cannot deliver." The person who is giving us the food to supply has said that it has doubled again. So we are like bringing 30% of what we had ordered for the amount you paid. And we had no option. We had to tell them, bring. I looked for other suppliers, and the price was higher than what this one gave us. So the price, you might read when people read on newspaper that prices have increased with 30% or 100%, 200%, you don't get the real meaning until you go like order something and then get it at 300% price of what you had initially hoped to get for. And especially with this large number of kids, the purchases are always in large quantity. So we feel the pinch. And what does that results into giving 30% of the ration to the children, because there's no other way. If you give the 100% you are used to giving, then it will add in that percent of the time, and you don't have the money. So the rest of the time they will not have anything to eat. So we just kind of give them something to sustain them and keep them alive until maybe another angel comes with another message where we are going to get food for them.
So, needless to say, the any amount that somebody is willing to give you, it's going to go to good efforts. It's needed badly right now,
Yeah, like now,
more so than ever. Yeah.
Yeah, if any amount,
Mm-hmm.
it's not only that you can someone can give $30 or $35 or 50, even $1. $1 will feed the child. It might not buy a lot of food, but it will feed and help that child not to die. Actually, it's saving a life. So any amount, $5, $1,000, $1,000,000, half a dollar, any amount will be it's badly needed right now. I wouldn't be here in America asking for donations if we had the donations there. I'm dying to get back there and have the children eat. And for donations, I know people know you, Father Michael, and those people that know you, because I do not like carrying cash. I don't want to explain to the board of management anything about money, so I do not like to receive any cash donations. I always ask people if they could please send to us the money, because we are in the world of technology now. Let the money get to the account so that I don't have to do any explanation that I got this money from here. Let them see where the money is coming from. Let the board sit down, decide on the amount we are spending everywhere, and then I'll be comfortable, and I will not have any langos and fights with the board there.
Great. So just one last little topic here. You covered when we talked on Sunday, the spiritual side. Of course, all this that you're doing, the love that you're showing, and the taking care of the bodies of these children. But what about the soul? So what's going on at the orphanage that with regard to faith and education and such?
So fortunately, the government allows. So excuse me, the government allows us, or in the curriculum, in the school curriculum, we have the Christian religious education, and through that we are able to offer. Like sorry,
It's okay.
through the Christian religious education, we are able to offer that the Christian religious education. And what I do is, apart from what is in the curriculum, I have another program where I teach them, like I catechize the people there. I teach them about the Orthodox faith. The children there, I teach them. The caregivers, I teach them, and they are able to freely accept to convert to our faith, because a majority there are Protestant, from Protestant denominations, from the Roman Catholics, from some of them don't go to church anyway. So when they accept, we baptize them. And right now, among the population we have 120 of them are Orthodox Christians. And if you check on the website, or you'll see them receiving Holy Communion during the service. If you come, you'll see them. And we have others that are already taking catechetical classes. So we are very particular in that, and because it's not illegal in Kenya. It's not like we are forcing them to do anything. We just teach them, and those who are willing, they will see me in the office and ask me, Father, I would like to become one of the Christians there, and so they convert and they get baptized.
Oh, that's wonderful, Father. So
Mhm.
I'm sure some of my viewers are need to hear this, but just um, just so that we know that everything is ecclesiastically on the up and up. You are part of the Alexandrian Patriarchate, and your bishop is
Macarius,
Methodius in
Macarius of Nairobi.
Nairobi. Okay,
Yes,
just
yes,
I know that many people want to know this when they're where the money's going to. That it's
yeah, yes, yes.
that it's a legitimate Orthodox church. So
Yeah, and the bishop, actually, my bishop comes. He's very well known. If people go to the website, they will see the videos there for when the bishop is in the orphanage, when he's talking with me, and everything is. And every year we have to give like a report to the diocese of everything that we do, all the resources we got, how we spent everything, and what we are doing. And the bishop comes on the ground to see that what we are saying is actually happening. So
okay.
we are a legit organization. I'm a canonical priest. I feel like when I travel, the bishop gave me a letter of canonicity, because we have you could be canonical today and tomorrow you are not. So when I'm traveling, I usually want to get like a letter where the bishop has signed to say that I'm still a canonical priest. I have not gone astray. I'm not in the schismatic groups. So
Okay, Father. So there's in the links I'm going to provide here in the YouTube below. There you'll see the couple ways that you can help support the good works that Father Methodius is doing in Kenya, either by sponsoring a child for however much that you're able to do, or you can give a lump sum to go towards the building of uh, the chapel in honor of Saint Nectarius, or the new farmlands for the production of food. Any way you do it, I'm sure it's going to go into the best use of that as possible, and into further this great mission that, as Father said, the angels came and visited him to do. So that God, this is God's work that's being done, and it's been good to meet you, Father. I know that we have shared friend acquaintances, and we were this is the first time our paths crossed, but it's been a very big blessing to me and to our parish, and in order to expand our own hearts and to give to something that not in our maybe not in our neighborhood, maybe not in our parish, but to the kingdom of God, no, nonetheless.
Sure.
So, Father, anything else as we were about to end here? Anything else you would like to
I would,
share?
I would just like to say that I'm very grateful for having hosted me in your parish. I'm grateful for what the parish is doing for our humble mission. I'm grateful to have you as a friend. I'm grateful to have you as a friend, and I'm all humbled to be hosted by you on your channel.
Okay, all right, Father. Well, thank you, and God continue to guide you and bless you on your travels and in your work in Kenya.
Thank you very much, Father, and may God bless all of us.